Hi, all. My name is Anamara Ritt-Olson, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Training and Engagement for the CERES initiative. So I just wanted to take a minute to kind of tell you about our training program, which is really a program that we call the Scholars, the CERES Scholars. So let me just show you a few slides about it. It won't take too much of your time. So the idea with the CERES Scholars is it's part of a CERES network, and the CERES network was funded by the Jacobs Foundation, and CERES stands for Connecting the EdTech Research Ecosystem. The idea is to bring together people from all over the world and from very different perspectives to sort of address the development and well-being and educational needs of children. So children is pretty loosely defined. Mostly it's school-aged children up to like young adults, really. And we're bringing together people with very different perspectives. So this includes, researchers within academia, but it also includes our industry partners and non-governmental organizations that are trying to assist children across the world. And a lot of the work isn't just centered in well-being. It's centered in education and using technology to sort of close the gap and make people just help these children sort of succeed and thrive. So we sort of focus on these 5 key topics, and we're looking at this through a shared partnership between science and industry. You'll see that coming up as a theme, that we have a lot to learn from our industry partners, and that we hope that we can share some of our understanding with our industry partners, because we have a shared passion for this world. And the idea is to bring together our knowledge and slightly different perspectives, because we have such a strong value structure to really benefit our population together. So we want to understand new and widening digital divides and overcome the disparities that in the impacts of digital technologies. We want to make sure that the interventions are effective, well-designed, far-reaching, engaging. And we have a lot to learn from our industry partners in terms of that. And we can help with maybe the effectiveness and some of what we're learning from the way we look at these challenges. And then our industry partners have so much to teach us about how they're doing it. And then again, some of our community partners are coming in with maybe a slightly different perspective of what works and what doesn't work, so that together we can really determine how does this stuff truly impact the lives of children. We want to make sure that it's accessible. So I know that Dr. Hayes has a lecture about accessibility and how important it is to take that into consideration with our technologies. And certainly that is super important, to start looking at these increasing barriers for children and how to make something more accessible. We want to see about collaborative learning. My lecture today that was on motivation and health behavior theories, I really wanted to sort of highlight the importance of collaboration, connection, working, relevant others, social impact. Logarithmic and education interventions, we want to make sure that we're augmenting our learning practices and technologies with machine intelligence. How do we use this effectively and ethically to address gaps in children's education and development? There's lots of ways to do that. And evidence-based and brain science-inspired digital learning, connect leading brain and developmental scientists with experts in human-computer interaction to sort of optimize what's going on. So how do we work across disciplines, thought processes, to ensure that the work that's being done has the greatest and lasting impact? The mechanisms that we do this, where we work with a lot of different companies and we're working with a lot of our trainees. We have a research core, we have collaborative projects with companies, we provide seed funding. And basically this first piece is what I'm in charge of. I wanted to highlight that this is a global initiative. So these little marks are sort of where some of our researchers are located. They range from, it's sort of the center of the hub is University of California, Irvine, but we have connections at UC Berkeley. We have connections at CERES in Ensenada, Mexico, with the research institute there. We have Carnegie Mellon. We have researchers in Singapore. We have really active projects in South Africa. We have projects that in Ghana and Great Britain and Western Europe. And the idea is that we're hoping to branch out even more across the global South to make sure that our work is balanced, integrated, and that a lot of different voices and perspectives are heard. Because the goal is not small, the goal is large. And one of the ways that we're going to be doing this is through our trainees. So this strong training component is based in the idea of sort of bolstering the next network of researchers, but also in my conceptualization, our scholars, our trainees, they're sort of connections, they're nodes. They're the people who facilitate rapid communication and help us connect across all of those little dots that you saw on the world map. And it's already sort of working. And one of the things we try to work with them is to try to explore careers and connections just beyond just straight academia, and to make sure that we're working in a way that's sort of combining the best practices from different disciplines to have the greatest and most impactful work that we can do. So the scholars this is what they get. They get an internship, they get access to unique data sources, support and research. We'll be doing some hackathons. We have a speaker series that happens every month. We do different things in those. The last couple of trainings have really focused on social connection. We have online courses that are available right now. The ones that are up are on open science, and we'll be looking at some more, developing more in the new modes of intervention science. And the scholars participate in monthly meetings. They present at our series events. They commit to a year of presentation. We also ask for some sort of scholarly product. Maybe it's a journal article or a presentation at a conference, or they contribute to some sort of public science piece. And our key topics that we ask people to talk about are sort of the things that I presented earlier. And these are the topics that the scholars are sort of connecting in. And right now we actually have a number of projects that were funded to kind of address one of these different projects. This is our series scholars from our first year. This is our first cohort. And they are from almost all of the nodes that we presented for you. And a few of these guys have gone on to graduate, and they're moving, actually 2 of them are moving into industry actually right now. And then a few are moving into more traditional academic careers. So one of the things that we do every year that we love is our first one was last year, was our fall intensive. And this is a picture from fall intensive 2022, which was held in Newport Beach. And we brought together some of our series scholars, some of our series researchers, and we focused on talks and presentations around different areas that we wanted to encourage collaboration and work on. And then we were able from that fall intensive to actually provide seed funding for 5 projects, which are actually outlined on this series website if you want to go and check them out. These are some of the activities and some of the things that we covered in our fall intensive. So we have, these are sketch notes from some of the meetings we had, which is like, we are moving towards innovation through industry and university partnerships. And these are some of the ways and things that we came up with for that. We also we had an industry panel where we had people who talked about what are the challenges for industry working in different areas within ed tech and trying to build well-being and technology overlay. And we also had a group that talked about the funding and impact of the ways that funders are looking to support this work, and how do we move that forward, and how do we partner well with the people who want to partner with us. So one of the things that was really nice about the fall intensive was this just a little word cloud I made over what people described it. And the number one thing they wrote about it was that it was collaborative. And for me, that was like our number one goal. And one of the things that's really important to me is building collaborative relationships across different and disparate groups. Because our idea is that while I presented a map that are little dots all over the world, is my end goal is to make sure those dots are connected. I hope that you're good. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please be sure to reach out to me. My email is listed. Thank you.